Hi, today I'm going to teach you how to calculate your relationship sign astrologically, the way proper astrologers do it. And I want you to listen not to just one video because it's not just one sign that describes your relationship. It's not that easy. Things are quite mixed always and quite complex, as you've noticed by far by real astrology I've been trying to teach you. It's never black and white. It's never, oh, your Aries and your partners will be always like Libras. But it's always, we look at relationship, first of all, from the ascendant sign. That's how we calculate relationship. From the seventh sign from the ascendant, or we call it the seventh house, describes your marriage partner. Most often how he'll be physically, how he'll be like persona-wise. But if you don't know your ascendant sign, you can find it by going to my website, astrolada.com, following the link below. Or following the link below, and go to the ascendant sign calculator, enter the time of your birth correctly. Say if you're born 6:30 in the afternoon, enter it like 18:30, the European way. And once you have the ascendant sign, listen to the relationship description for the ascendant sign. Give the ascendant sign make it the first one you listen to, because it will be probably more than 40% true. You identify with more than 40% with it. And then find out your moon sign, because the moon has direct relevance to relationships as well, because the moon is the planet of emotions and feelings and vulnerability in our inner world and how we connect to others. Therefore, it's one of the most important planets for deciding relationships. And once you know the sign of your moon, then go and listen to the relationship description of your moon sign as well. It will probably give you 30% description of your partner will be like, or for some, even especially for females, because females identify with the moon much more than males, because the moon is a feminine planet and females are feminine creatures. A lot of the women can identify a lot with the description of the partnerships of the moon sign, actually. And again, the partnerships from the moon sign are again defined by counting 7 signs from the sign of the moon. So basically the opposite sign. It's always the opposite sign of the one that you have as the moon sign, as the ascendant sign, or sun sign. And also check the description of the partnership for your sun sign, especially males, because the sun is a masculine planet and males identify more with their rational, logical side, with their more, goal-oriented and active side, which is described by the moon. And a lot of women will also identify with it, because in those day and age, nowadays, women are much more in touch with their masculine side, with their active and goal-oriented, achieving side, rational side. And the sun sign is the one everyone knows. If you're born in April, you're probably Aries or Taurus. If you're born in September, you're probably Virgo or Libra. This is the one everyone knows. It will probably give you 25% the sign, the description of the partnerships that you're going to attract. But make sure you listen to the 3 of them to get the fuller picture. Some of you identify more with the ascendant sign partnership. Some of them will identify more with the sign opposite the moon. Some of you with the sign opposite the sun. But you will definitely feel the 3 sign partnerships as well. When you think about it, you will. But again, I keep saying, I think the ascendant is the most relevant one, through watching through my practice in the long years. So what happens if your ascendant, sun or moon sign is in Aries? Well, then the type of partners you'll be attracting in the long run will be described by the sign opposite Aries. And the sign, and as we know, opposite attracts. That's why we'll be often attracted through these people. And the sign opposite Aries is Libra. And it's very often that you'll be attracted to people who are Libras, who maybe their sun is in Libra, their moon, their ascendant, maybe their Venus is there, maybe they have the North Node there, some planet in their horoscope. But even if you're not astrologist and you don't understand from signs and moons, whatever, if you have your sun in Aries, your moon, your ascendant, you'll notice that the type of people you attract, they would always have Libra qualities, even if you don't know their sun sign or moon sign, or even if they don't have anything in Libra, they'll probably have a very strong Venus, which is the planet of Libra in their horoscope, which will make them very much Venusian, very much Libra-like. And I myself, I'm an Aries. I have 4 planets in Aries, so Often most of my relationship that I attracted was with men who behave like Libra. And what would they be like? The partners that the Libra like, they'll be very charming. They'll be very diplomatic people. They would know what they would get what they want with a soft touch. They would never threaten you, intimidate you. They'll try and talk it out with you. They'll try and resolve it diplomatically with tact. And we do need that energy in our lives, because we as Aries we lack this tact. Even if we're very sweet and kind and compassionate people, we can be sometimes so direct and blurt out things that just phase some people. They can we don't have this social tact that they have. And especially, you can be, for instance, sitting you can be the epitome of social grace, sitting in a meeting, sitting in a lunch dinner, and in the next second you get excited by something, because we as Aries, we get easily excited by things, and once something grabs our attention, we put all our focus into it, all our energy. That's why we're so passionate. And for instance, you start talking a story all of a sudden and entertaining everyone on the table. You're so absorbed by what you're doing, so focused there as an Aries, that all of a sudden you stretch across the table, you grab the bottle of wine and you just pour yourself and you drink away, and your partner is horrified. Everyone on the table looks at themselves and say, where did this Tarzan came from, from the jungle or something? And often you'll be attracting partners who are just the opposite. They'll be example of social grace. They'll be an example of how to behave in society. They'll be very elegant, and because Libra is the most civilized of signs, so the type of partners you would be attracted, they'll be very civilized. They'll be very socially aware and socially trained, and that's why you're attracting them, to teach you this. And the amount of boyfriends I had that, that they treated, that they almost were horrified with me, because my Aries spontaneity would be childlike. Well, we who have Aries in our horoscope, we act before we think a lot of times, because of this excitement in us, because of this single-minded focus that we have. And this horrifies our partners, and they try and teach us to train us almost, because imagine like Shakira, she has her ascendant in Aries, I think, the wild child she is, and there is something of this in everyone who has something of Aries inside of them, and they need to be home trained or society trained by their partners, so often you'll be attracting those charming, kind, polite, very tactful partners who, they would always tell you, okay, let's see this matter from both sides, let's not be in a hurry, let's consider first the matter, let's evaluate. Libra is a sign, the type of partners that you attract who are type of Libras, they'll be very good at evaluating situations from all the sides. While on Aries, we as an Aries, we just jump right in, oh, that's what it is, that's what I'm gonna get, The moment we see something, we go for it, or we're so idealistic, we're so not practical and pragmatic that we sometimes can run after things that are impossible. We might make very silly choices because we are so rushed at our choices, so quick to take them. So, let's get things done over with. And the type of partners we would attract, they'll be much more pragmatic than us. They'll teach us to evaluate all sides of the matter. It can drive us mad occasionally, because those people, they always take forever, the type of people we would attract, to make up their mind, just like Libras. They'll be like, the blue shirt or the black shirt? And you go 10 minutes later, they're still wondering. You just want to slap them, I know, because I'm talking from experience. And you teach them how to take such faster decisions, you as an Aries, but they will teach you how not to rush into things too quickly, how not to make silly decisions, how to evaluate properly what is worth your energy and what is worth fighting for, because we jump into the fight, or we jump into any activities that are exciting to us without evaluating that maybe in the long run it's going to take more from us, or it's not worth investing in, and they'll give us this ability to have a more pragmatic mind, and to be more socially trained, to be more more tactful, more diplomatic, because they themselves they can drive you mad with their slowness of taking decision, but they will teach you cooperativeness, the art of compromising, which we really need, and try not to boss them around, because Libras will not tell you directly, because they're kind, they're diplomatic, and we have a tendency to tell people what we want straight, and Libras one, they can just run away, they can escape from you, because they've tried, and you don't get the subtle hints that Libras usually work with, because they're tactful, I keep saying, and if you as an Aries don't get those subtle hints, one day they can be away, so we have to be careful, and we have to they'll teach us, they'll harbor, they'll nurture our elegant and fine taste. Maybe they'll introduce us more to to more sociable activities, because we as Aries, we can be loners. Aries is a bit of a lone sign, because it wants to do things on its own. It trusts itself more, so it's quite self-centered. That's what Aries it is. Even if you're a very kind and loving person, at the end of the day, if you really make a analysis of yourself, you realize that it's always me first, because Aries is the child, is the first sign, and they need this self-centeredness. We need it because because it's a new cycle we're starting of incarnations. That's when you have Aries in your horoscope. It's a new cycle, so we need this focus and self-centeredness to work on. But the evolutionary goal in this life is to develop the balanced outlook that our partners can give us, and they themselves will be very balanced. They will not be as extreme as us, because we as Aries would always be black or white, this extreme or that extreme. I'll either never drink again, or I get totally sloshed, this kind of extreme. While the type of partners you attract, they would always know their measure, they would always know the golden middle, they would know that 2 drinks, 3 drinks is enough, and they'll try and teach you to be more balanced in your life. This kind of people you'll be attracting. And even it might sound restrictful for you occasionally, in the long run you'll see how much they helped you grow, how much they made you be not balanced, how much they helped you be pragmatic and more balanced, and not so extreme. And also, they'll teach you to be sensitive to the feelings of others, because partners that you would attract, they would always be very aware of what others think. That's why they're so socially apt and so socially adequate, because they're aware of the others' opinions and thoughts of them. While we as Aries, being self-centered on ourselves mostly, might not be aware of that and act again like jungle people sometimes, act out of only personal considerations, and not objective, and not others' considerations for the others around, and as well they'll help us to be more impartial, because Libras, the type of partners you would attract, they'll be very, as I say, impartial. They always consider the outside circumstances, all the sides of a matter. They're not one-sided like Aries have tendency to be. And Aries, they always take people who have Aries, they take things very personally, And Libra, they're not. They're much more mature, so to speak, in their communication, in their appreciation of situation, in their evaluation of situation, and they will help us do this as well. So enjoy your Libra type partners, and don't get upset with them if if they're sometimes too hard on you, or if they're too slow to take decisions, or if they're too trying to teach you and put you into some mold, because we need to learn to be social as well. Not only, we're humans are social animals as well. So these people will take us and teach us how to see the viewpoint of others, how to evaluate properly. Anyway, thank you very much, Aries, and let me know if you find this correct for you. Do you find yourself attracting such partners?